of course, you would like to design your own missions using the Moose framework. For this tutorial helps you to set that up. So you will create a new project within the LDT environment, My Missions, which will contain all of your missions that you have designed. So let's go back to LDT. What you need to do again is new Lua project. And now instead of loading one that has been predefined using create project at existing location, we're now going to create a new project within the workspace. Remember the workspace? The workspace that has been set up under the Eclipse directory that you installed. So project name, I would recommend you use my_missions. No execution environment, no default project template required to be created here, and just press next. Right, you can delete all of this really, or you can do it later. I'm going to do it later. This is default created by LDT, but there's one important thing that you need to do is to go to projects and again reference the Moose framework here. This is to ensure that while you are coding you have IntelliSense enabled, and just press finished. So now when you go to preferences or properties here, you will see a My Missions has been created under the Eclipse workspace directory here. As I said, this project comes with a default source directory here that you can just delete. Now let's have a look at these test missions here. You see the test missions. They are populated with a MIS file. This is your DCS mission, and a Lua file that's been embedded within your MIS file. What I would like you to do is to set up for each mission, a folder, right? So, and that will contain a Lua file and a MIS file. And this is important because there's a tool created within LDT that helps you to refresh your Lua file within your mission file if it has been updated. So normally you have to set up these things manually, but I've created for you a small process that allows you to refresh these things dynamically, automatically within your mission. Anyway, let me get on and show you how to design a mission. So as I explained, the first thing you need to do is to set up a folder with your mission. In this example, I'm going to do test mission. Right, and now I'm going to create a Lua file, same name, doesn't really matter, but same name. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't appear here, should be in there. Okay, test mission. So while in editing the test mission Lua file, I'm going to look if my IntelliSense is working. Let's try with spawn. So I have spawn object as a, make it local for the example here, local variable, spawn object equals spawn double point. Yes, IntelliSense is working, new. And now I can just, I can do many things here. I can, make this box bigger, and I can select spawn as two constructors. It has a new with a spawn template prefix, and it has a new with a spawn template prefix alias prefix. All very nice. I'm not going to do that. First I'm going to the DCS World mission editor and I'm going to set up a test mission. So let's start DCS World. So now we're in the mission editor. I made a smaller box so you can see the Lua LDT context next to the mission editor context. Let's create, let's spawn something at Kobileti as an example. So what we're going to do is going to create like a helicopter. I'm going to make it late activated. We're going to let it spawn from a ramp. So when you run this mission for the first time, you won't see anything because the helicopter, and let's name this helicopter, will be late activated, and will will not appear in your mission when you run it. Right, let's give it a path and just land again. Right, let's save this mission, and we're going to save it into the the location that we selected, which is in my Eclipse workspace, my missions, test mission. And here I'm gonna just test a mission. A mis file will be created in there. So now we're gonna go back to LDT, and I'm gonna refresh first with F5. You press F5 here, and you see that your test mission has been added. So this directory, this folder will be refreshed when you press F5. Go back to the editor, and again I'm gonna do spawn helicopter object, helicopter spawn. That's actually the standard naming convention that I'm using. Spawn new. And what I want you to do now is, because you named your helicopter here, the group name is helicopter, this will be your template for the spawn object. So you do here helicopter, right, new. Okay, helicopter. You can press Control space to automatically complete the wording, because it knows you have this object here. So when you do heli, Control space, it says I have only one, so it will auto-complete it. Now you see I have a spawn object here, and I can start using many methods under spawn. So let's spawn something. Spawn. Right. I'm going to save this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch moves from the very first time using this script here. And I'm going to explain you in the DCS mission editor how to load the test mission.lua script and how to load the moves framework. First thing you need to do is you need to set up a trigger. So there are two triggers you need to create. The first trigger will load the moves framework, which is a normal Lua file that you need to load. What I do is I do moves load as a name. I let it start at mission start. Then I create an action, right? Do script file. And now I'm going to load the moves framework, which is located, at the location that I had preserved. In my case, it's moves 2.0, and you have a directory here called moves.lua. Okay, so you do OK here, and then that's it basically. Yeah. The next trigger that we'll need to create is to load your script. So load mission. Again, I let it run at mission start, new, do script file, and I'm going to load my mission, which is of course in another directory. Remember, that was at my workspace. So I go, what was it again? No, here, Eclipse, right? Workspace, my missions, test mission.lua. So now I got two triggers. That's the only thing you need to do, I think, within moves ever. You need to ensure your moves framework is loaded. So you got a moves.lua loaded at mission start, and you got your mission loaded at mission start. You can save this mission and you can run it. So I got my scripts here. How to load your mission or how to run it is you do fly mission, but you can also faster do it with prepare. It really depends what you prefer. I do prepare for the moment. So mission is started, it's loading. There's nothing gonna happen really. It's just gonna be a helicopter that starts flying around. But it demonstrates, very nicely how the spawn function is working. So because you named your group helicopter, the first group that has been spawned dynamically will get the number 1, the second number 2, the third number 3, and so on and so on. And when you speed up, you know, the time a bit with Control W, you'll see that you know, this helicopter starts flying around and lands again. So this is the power of the Moose framework. With a simple script here, you are able to spawn a helicopter, make it fly around, and land again. No rocket science. Okay, thank you very much, and I'm going to create a couple of other videos that go in more depth on how you can optimize this process using your missions.